Okay, Alyssa, I got you here because I said we have to make some content. We've got the spot on D-Scoop. We're having these conversations all the time in the office when we're on chat. We're just talking about stuff, digital marketing that we're doing for print companies, issues they're seeing. We're arguing on certain points. Like, I think this, because I saw this and I saw that and I had this conversation. So just doing it here is going to be valuable. So this is the first time we've done it. It's super uncut, right? Like, it's super raw. We're both in our homes here working remote. I'm in my office basement / weight room. So, it is what it is. And actually, I should blur the background out. It said it was raw, right? I should blur the background out here. I'm not doing that. So give me 1 second. And while I'm doing it, I don't know, man. There's a bunch of issues that we're talking about for SEO for print companies, and that's what we were going to talk about today. If I put you on the spot right now while I blur my background, is there at least one SEO thing you can think of? Like, I've got some, but I mean, is there one thing that you'd bring up?
Yeah, I'd say the first thing that comes to mind based on what we've experienced is like the local versus national. There's a lot of national printed products that our print companies want to be showing up for. And it's really competitive space out there. And a lot of the work that we do is to help them show up locally for that. But a lot of times print companies just don't understand why they can't be number one for printing brochures, for example.
No, yeah, that's perfect. And I got my blurred background, so we're all good now. Yeah, that's perfect, right? We talk about this one a lot. So local versus national. I'm just going to barf out what I think I see, and we've kind of talked about. It's like this brochures, like you were saying, when it's a simple product, there's a bunch of product ads out there because you have Vistaprint and you have Banner Buzz and you have these other online shops that are selling those products. And so I can go to a product page. It's e-commerce driven. The product's there. The options are there for the finishing. How many do I want? Do I want a rounded corner? What's the thickness? What's the finish? What's the whatever? I can upload my design. I can design it. But it's it's an e-commerce experience. And because there's enough of the companies that are doing that, there's enough of those online businesses that are doing it, that Google's like, okay, there's a market for this. And so now we're going to take advantage of that. We're going to make it a product. Like, it's a product that we can put in a shopping ad, that we can share the results that become the e-commerce page. So like, if you don't have that, you don't show up. You can't, like, if someone's searching for business cards, you as a company are not going to show up unless you have the e-commerce function, because Google and the users are looking for it. I mean, Google's looking for it because users are looking for it. So if like the customer's like, I want to go on, click on my options and click submit, and I know and it's going to be ordered, I pay and it's going to come to me. If it doesn't do that, I'm a customer. I don't want anything other than that. Google knows this. And so Google's like, that's what we're going to show. So that's why you never show. That we're talking about the same thing, right? Like, that's what we're saying. That's an example. Business cards or simple brochures. Yeah, that's a problem. It's a problem because they have to get e-commerce, and e-commerce is a totally different beast than just having a page and a form to get a quote from somebody.
Yeah. Entirely separate product on your site.
So it's like, what do you do about it? But what do you do about it? I don't know. Before I keep rambling, like, what are you saying? What are you saying to our customers about that?
Well, it kind of depends on the product we're talking about, because I think that there's a ton of opportunity from an SEO standpoint when it's not those, as what do we call them? Commoditized products.
Yeah.
There's a lot more opportunity with more large format type printing or more unique printed products versus the brochures and business cards. And so from an SEO standpoint, there's definitely more of a chance to be showing up for those versus the shopping ads for the commodity products.
Yeah, I know there's stuff, you and I were talking about this, but when you, not this specifically, but throwing extra words like custom or premium or, the luxe kind of stuff, where it's like, okay, if I want to get a catalog done, there are those sites that are allowing me to make catalogs. But if I want something really customized, which the commercial printers out there know this. I mean, it's like, if I want something that's die cut and embossed and finished in some weird way, there is no online store that's going to allow me to like how do I choose that? Like, how do I upload my cutout or something? Like, it can't happen. So they have to get a quote. So it's like, if you can, those products and those terms that signal that's the type of experience someone's going to have to do. Like, those are the types of things I think that we're suggesting to create pages and show up for. But still, it's like, well, what do you do about all the other stuff? We've seen this a lot. It's not consistent, but it does happen where Google Maps, like we're saying, hey, you need to go to Google My Business and you need to sign your account up and you need to fill it in and optimize it. And we're showing people how to do it. We're showing people how to do that. There's courses on that. But like, when you talk about the business card and someone's looking for a business card, Google's still bringing up like the local print companies. And if you talk about business cards in your listing, a lot of times it's highlighted, so it actually shows up. It might get you higher up in the rankings on the local map listing. We definitely do that. I'm like, what are your thoughts on the Google My Business side of it all related to, I'm still talking local and national stuff.
I was going to say, yeah, that goes back to the local and national point that I kind of kicked this off with, was that's a big place for opportunity for printers, is to use the Google My Business for those local listings, because you can show up in maps, but then if you're optimizing your entire site for your region, there's a higher chance that you're going to show up in the organic search results. Even if there are those high commoditized products that are going to have the shopping ads, but if it's highly optimized for your region, your location, you're just increasing your chances of showing up locally at a minimum.
Yeah. And we definitely see that. And that's one of those things too. It's like, you're logged into Google or Chrome and it's recognizing that you're in a location, that you've searched these things before. So it will sometimes, like me as a person, I get a different result than someone else just because I am me. Like, I have a certain search history, and that stuff does influence what shows up. So sometimes, like, I'm here in St. Louis, so I'll see St. Louis print shops show up for the commoditized products sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes. But as it relates to ads, like ads for sure, man, when it's really seen as a commodity like product, those dominate. Those fill all the spaces for sure.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah, that is a big one. The SEO versus national. I mean, what are some? If I think national, I feel like we're kind of talking local and shopping, and commodity products, but national. I know we definitely recommend certain types of articles for national stuff. What are your thoughts on that? Like, how do you talk to our customers about getting the national exposure on different topics, or what is a national topic?
That is a good question.
I'm not trying to stump you here. I'm just like,
yeah. I don't know.
Oh man. Well, then I'm gonna put words in your mouth.
But,
so things like, I'm just off the top of my head because we have a lot of this in the platform, but like design tips or the most popular things. So it's like sizes, designs, stuff like that. What's your favorite on that, or what do you feel like is the most effective when it comes to that?
I think pricing, because a lot of people are always wanting to know what the cost of it is, and so we've seen success with that type of content. What's the cost of what influences the price? And
yes, yeah, that's, you're right, that's huge. And that plays into the shopping ad stuff and the e-commerce side, because people go there and there is pricing available when they put all the options in place. But there's, like, if someone's looking for it, you have the opportunity to show up, because if they're looking for pricing, it doesn't necessarily contextually make sense it does, I guess, kind of put them on a product page, because then you can figure out what your price is going to be.
Yeah.
But a lot of us, whatever, you showed this to me, the TLDR, too long, didn't read, you know what I'm saying? It's like, maybe I'm walking into this in a bad way, but it's like, if I write a piece of content on how much it should cost, maybe that's too long and they don't read it. Or maybe if I just they can skim through and see the answer real quick. Like, okay, I see, like, these things would affect the price. I can see the bullets and the number. But I feel like it could be TLDR to go to a e-commerce page and have to choose the size and the next thing and the next thing and the next thing, and then upload a design just to get to the price. And maybe
Right.
the way that those operate, sometimes it's like you don't get your price until you hit your cart. And you don't want to do that. You're like, I'm going to be targeted with this freaking ad on this thing right now. They don't want it or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. That makes sense. Yeah, that's a good national topic for sure. The national stuff really ends up being, it's like, what about the product? How to use it, design, what are the things that influence? One of my favorites ends up being like menus, talking about how to increase revenue through creating your menu in a certain way, like
design.
Yeah, how do you anchor up a high cost product that's really like you never expect anyone to buy it, but it's setting like a standard, like, oh shoot, everything else is cheap compared to the $600 hamburger you got on here. Geez,
right,
$50, I'm paying that all day. Forget the 600, But yeah, that makes sense. What other? So that's national and local, but what are some other ones? What are the SEO issues?
Yeah, I definitely think that's number one topic.
That's a big one.
Nothing.
Nothing.
I feel like that's where my head's at.
I threw the first one back on you anyway. I threw the first one to you to come up with, so
yeah.
I can come up with the second one. So there's a lot of SEO issues, right? One of them ends up being, well, let's just talk Google My Business. Like, what is it? What is it? The listing. Sometimes it's verified and used, I feel like it's misunderstood. And it comes at a cost too, potentially. So like, it's an issue because it's not optimized, or and now it's becoming even more hard to verify, which is okay if you're the individual. It's just agencies in the past do this. So let me stop rambling and go to the beginning. Google My Business. You go to Google, search for a company, and the company's name shows up in the listings, but then maybe off to the right, there's a little logo and some pictures and hours and all that. We're in a restaurant. You can do that with your company. A lot of our customers have it. They either claimed it or it was scraped and Google just created one for them, but it has barely any information. And then there's those who have claimed it and they've done stuff with it, but it's not really optimized. And so what can you do to optimize it? Basic stuff ends up being like putting in the description and putting in your services and your hours, all the normal business information that should be there and right. But having images, having the inside and outside and making sure everything's accurate and correct. But there's more now you can do.
Yeah, like you can list out and choose from selections on products and services. So that ties into those individual products and search results, including business cards, including banners in your listing.
And before the issue that I feel like we're seeing most now with that, number one, it's like it's not understood that that's a thing. Like Google's using that, and other websites online are looking to find it. And when they find it, they will display that same information on their websites. Yelp does this on its own, but other aggregator articles would be like, what are the top print companies in Tuscaloosa, right? It's like, if you're listed in Google, it might come and grab you because it's finding you as one of the 10, and it just pre-populates an article automatically with you as one of the top 10 just because you're there. Like, they didn't actually write this article. So that's huge. Those are unintended consequences, but it's a tool that Google's using to ensure that it has the entity's information correct, and it can get tied into all these areas. Exactly. Other people find you. So the verification, though, is what's become more of a problem. Like if you don't have it or you want to make changes and you don't own it, like own the listing, to verify now, before you just get a postcard without a code, you put it in, and now they're like, make a video, walk around outside, show that you're actually there. It's crazy. Like
the street sign, what's next to you.
So that's tough, man. That's a real thing. I mean, it's not like, that's tough because if you have an agency doing the work, how do they get that? They can't unless they're local. They can come and do it. But it's like
that's a lot of hoops to jump through, even if you're working for your print company just trying to claim ownership from someone that doesn't work there anymore. It's just way harder than it used to be to verify it.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good one. I'm going to pick on you with that. Like, employee verified it, owned it, ran it. The listing. We're going to name any of them, right? There's a lot of stuff for SEO, Search Console, analytics, all of them, right? Anything that you were using, that person managed it all. Google My Business, and they've left, and you don't know how the heck to get in. Like that happens a lot, right? Like what are we telling them? What are you telling? What have you been talking about?
Yeah, well, if you go to the listing, there's a way to request ownership, and you're just saying, I'm me, I want to request ownership. It gives, what is it, 5 days, 7 days? Or Google's trying to like contact that email address that created it, and after a certain time, sometimes they're just like, oh yeah, you're the owner, but then they make you verify it through these videos or whatever another time. But sometimes that doesn't always work.
Yeah.
But that's always the first step, at least.
Yeah, that is how you do it
that way.
I think am I wrong in saying that? I feel like it works most of the time though. If it's like, probably. No,
I don't know. I feel like I've been burned a couple times recently where maybe I had to keep requesting, and ultimately Google was like, fine, yeah, we trust you, you can have it. But
okay.
Usually that's the easiest way. You may have to go through the verification to verify your location beyond that, depending on if it was verified or not before. But
and we're a third party too. I mean, I feel like if you've got a domain name, an email address with the domain name of the business, and that's what's requesting it, like the odds are it's like this looks legit. Like LinkedIn did that. It'd be like you couldn't have like a company page without creating it using the domain of the business that you were using, that type of thing. So I mean, I feel like that would be helpful. It's that third party stuff is tough. Third party makes it there's an extra layer of complication. Yes, an agency's supposed to know what they're doing, but a lot don't. And even then, it sometimes just is added issues because Google wants to validate that this person's not just trying to do it, just take something hostage, for like no reason. But
so it's built to not be an agency doing it.
Yes. What's another one? I feel like SEO, maybe technical site stuff. What are some technical SEO stuff that people are dealing with that they don't even know? Because if I'm being honest, I feel like we came in today, we're like, let's talk about SEO issues printers are having. But a lot of the actual issues they're having, they don't even know they're having, and they would not even like come out with that. It's like we're exposing that, but they're just like, I'm not ranking. I don't show up. Like that's the issues they're facing. But like the technical stuff, we're kind of talking one layer deeper than that. I don't know. What's something like site?
Yeah, I mean, a big one is indexing, which I mean, we always hoping for
define it. I feel like anyone listening is like indexing.
That you have allowed Google to be able to crawl your site, and so then you're able to show up in the search engine. Sometimes there's a tiny little box in the back end of a website that could be checked by saying, don't allow my site to be crawled, and that could be crashing.
Yes, anybody. That's a PSA. Anyone using WordPress, if you're not getting found or you don't think you are, literally go to go to settings, and it is reading. Settings, reading, and then there's a little box that says whatever it is. Keep me out of the search engine. Click this box so I don't show up. And that's for like developers, like new sites, stuff like that. But if that's checked, you're never showing up ever.
Right. Yeah.
Check that. That's a big one. One of the biggest, I know this isn't necessarily SEO, it is, but it isn't, is Google Analytics 4, which we just dropped an email on the new course, right? Like the new, or actually there's a course on it. There's a course you can go take on the site that's free. It's kind of an overview, but like all of our courses that involve Google Analytics have all been updated to be Google Analytics 4, which is a nightmare. Not to discourage anyone from trying to do digital marketing, but I'm just saying like that's a nightmare to deal with. So that is it. But that's a problem. Yeah, if you're using that to measure your search engine optimization results, you got to be using that now, and that alone is a problem. So I guess I just brought up a problem without a solution other than take our course, I guess, you know. It's like it is nice though, because it is I don't know, it gives you more data. If you wanted to get nerdy with it, you can get in there and learn more about what's happening. But you've got Google Analytics 4. It's not any harder to link that to Search Console. What is Search Console? It's Google's version of, it's Google's tool that's going to give you the keywords that you're actually showing up for. Like Google Analytics a long time ago stopped showing you the keywords you actually showed up for because they encrypted everything. Google Search Console lets you see the keywords, but it doesn't give you as much information as Google Analytics, but you can link the two, which kind of marries the data, and then you're able to see more about what's happening. So that's nice. It's definitely all of that kind of technical stuff that's specific for SEO, like connecting platforms and making sure that they're talking to each other right. That actually is a problem that they're running into a lot, and it's like it's not hard to fix. It's just there's just a lot of little things to do. So that's good news, I guess. We can just say that's a problem. It's a technical barrier, but it's easy to do. You just need to read and see how to do it and just do it. So that's good.
For sure.
I don't know what else. That may be it. That may be the big ones. I know we weren't going to be on here long talking about it much, but that might be the biggest ones.
Yeah, we can do a follow up, go even deeper on more of the technical.
Maybe talk about next time we talk about like keywords, or if you're trying to show up for New York printing, but you're in like Hackensack, New Jersey, like you're never going to show up. Like it's not happening. Like you're not going to show up. Unfortunately, maybe that's like a tease to one in the future. Like you're not going to show up if you are not in that area, like not even close to that area. What's close?
Yeah.
We can get into that later, I guess. But I think this is okay. I hope that what we just did is going to be valuable here for people.
Yeah. Almost everything had a solution.
I think so. Yeah, I think so. And if it didn't, people can trash talk us or send it to us and be like, you literally just said these things and like there's no answer. Okay, great. Well, then we're going to give them the answer.
Right.
I think that was good. Okay, nice. All right, well, perfect. Then we need to do this again. And I probably won't be in a hoodie next time. I feel like I came in real raw, real casual, to be honest. So unfiltered, except the blurred background that I changed during your first commentary. So it's good.
It's fine.
That's good. All right. Well, then I will plug it right here in the end. Pryntbase. Go check it out. Blogs are really good. We're having these conversations. Our blogs are versions of that, but just more straight to the point and less rambling from this side of the screen, whatever side you're looking. I think maybe it's this side of the screen for you. I don't know. But awesome. All right. Well, then we'll do it again.
Yep.
Thank you, Alyssa.
Thank you.